Not me. Okay. Sorry, guys. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have not been together in a while. A lot of you are in the platform. You have come in for different reasons. I hope you are enjoying the replays and actually doing the work. I'm meeting with a lot of one-on-one clients and, people who are wanting to come in, and everybody's, going through something. And what I want to say is that generally when we're going through something, in order to make things different, we have to do something different. And, going through year end now and tax season beginning, I can see the stress already beginning with people. And we're here for you. Post your questions, ask your questions. And I want to say that, no question is too small, it's stupid, it's not relevant, it's all important. And with that note, let's jump in to today's topic, which is where did my money go? So lots of times we, have a lot of income and then we're worried about what actually happened with it. So this is a cash flow clarity workshop today for therapists, and I want to talk with you around some steps and different things to do for just this. Of course, my slides. Okay, so what is the problem? Wait, let's fix, sorry guys, today I'm a little bit, let's fix this so that I can give a proper presentation today. Okay, awesome. So what is the problem? Many therapists earn well, but they still feel financially stressed. So lots of times, like even if you're not a therapist, like maybe you're just a regular business owner, just in general, we could make money, but we're still stressed. So the fear isn't that you don't make enough, it's that you don't understand where it's going. And when we don't understand where it's going and why, it becomes a whole source of a loop of different things that happen, which is not straight. So the uncertainty creates panic and avoidance and self-doubt. And what we really want to do is get you out of this and getting you into forward action. Why does this happen? Income alone doesn't create safety. Without clarity, money feels unpredictable, decisions feel risky, and growth feels scary. I said it to a client yesterday around how much she earns, and it really started to dawn on me in our conversation where, you know, I was actually thinking she was going to be happy around what she makes, but the fear was the underlying steps under it around what she was actually doing it with herself. And at first, I thought it was something else in the conversation around actual skills, around the knowing and things of that nature. But it was really around herself, trusting herself in this nature. So like this, like what we write here is like decisions are feeling risky, growth feels scary, money feels unpredictable. So it was creating that knowing and that trust within. So cash flow, not income, is what determines how safe your business feels. Feeling broke versus being broke, right? Think about that. Feeling broke versus actually being broke. And it's a bad sentence that somebody created this sentence of like years ago of like, I'm broke. You can earn well and still feel broke when expenses rise faster than awareness, money leaves your account before you notice, there's no clear system guiding decisions. There's a system problem, not a personal failure. So, you know, people think because people make more money that these things don't travel with them, or it's easier because they have more money. But the habits and the behaviors around it won't change unless we do something different. I have clients who make, let's say around 100,000 versus several million or several billion in assets. And now I would say is that people who don't take these skills with them and do something about it when it's a problem, it's going to just travel with you on how to handle it. And I always call this the comeback rate on how you handle these things. So when there's no clear system on guiding decisions, chances are you're going to feel like you're broke and that you can't do anything. Money leak number one, invisible expenses. Small recurring expenses quietly drain cash. Software subscription. So just a few days ago, I actually, I stopped looking at my Amazon emails because we're always ordering from Amazon. And I realized that there was a subscription to it. I think it was like almost $20 a month. And I was like, what? Nobody's using this. So it was 12 times 20 is $250 a year. Great, done. Money in my pocket because I started the awareness. Contractor overages, maybe you don't have a control on how your potential is with working with contractors of like a boundary of how many hours, of a boundary of around where the fees are, that they have to get some type of approval from you. Fees you stopped questioning. When expenses aren't reviewed, they multiply without permission. I have a ton of clients going through this. I've even experienced this myself. So I'll tell you a story. So years ago, and it took a really long time for this to resolve. My cell phone bill was on auto pay. And I was going through a move. I was going through a whole bunch of things at the same time. So to make sure things got paid, I put it on auto pay. And what happened was on a few of the bills, these fictitious, weird, random things were happening. On my cell phone bill, there was an extra user for like 6 months. And when I finally figured it out that it was an extra user, that it was more on Verizon, it took me over a year past that 6 months to get it off. And I didn't even fully get the credit. The time that it was taking to work through it was ridiculous. So I ended up just making a decision within of like whatever I got, I got. It's almost like you get what you get and you don't be upset. So what's number two? Inconsistent cash flow. Therapists come in, their income is often uneven. So seasonal client volume, insurance delays, irregular payouts. So what happens with this? Without planning for this, money feels chaotic and even in good months. I was actually talking to a client, I think it was also yesterday, and he was very upset around or concerned. He was just talking about, it's not that he didn't even know that there was going to be a lot of cancellations. It's just that it drained the cushion that he had. And because we planned for another income stream to come in, I said to him, why not plan for those times of years now? Because now those times that you know are going to be cancellation times, you can now plan for those events so that it's not an issue because the one to many is always going to rule the one to one. No clear flow system. When all the money sits in one account, spending feels reactive, saving feels impossible, decisions feel emotional. Money needs direction and not discipline. So, what do we mean by discipline? It has a purpose. If you want it just to want it, it usually doesn't work out. But if you want it to, for a purpose of you want to hire a worker, you want to do this, you want to do that within the business, the money is going to flow to you when it has a place and a goal, and that you're actually in alignment around it. So, what does that mean? Let's say you say that you're going to use the money for something, and then when it actually comes in, you don't. So let's say you want to invest into like a building or another team member or a bigger office and different things, and then you don't. So when you don't have that discipline to do what you say, all of a sudden you're going to realize that different things are happening in business that are continuing to be unaligned from there. So here is the specific flow method for you. Separate money by purpose, create clarity without complexity, and support fluctuating income. Now, supports that fluctuate income, I want to talk about this. Let's say you have six insurances, but four are consistent. Or let's say you see that private pay is working, but you didn't work on it, and it's something you've always wanted. Why not spend the time of 10 minutes a day of what you can so that these things can happen? Let this basis and let's be this method run your day, run your week. And separating money by purpose, what ends up happening there is that you know where the money is going, like we were talking about before, and it has a goal and it has a place in mind. And with that clarity that doesn't have complexity, you're able to come from a grounded place and you're building from that abundance place that is going to build on the place of where you want to go. So how should money flow? It moves intentionally. The money comes in, expenses are pre-planned, owner pay is clear, taxes are protected, and leftover money has a job. Think about that. Leftover money has a job. Clarity replaces chaos when money has structure. Now, lots of times people are just focusing on the clarity. I was actually just talking about this. Yes, so much has happened yesterday. So I was actually just talking about this yesterday on a podcast that people go into business to make money, but they don't realize the other parts around it that they don't pay attention to that are part of the job. So they think that it's only being busy making money outside of the part of, handling the client work, but there's other parts to this. So the leftover money that has a job is where the work is. So expenses are pre-planned, owner pay is clear, taxes are protected, and leftover money has a job. So talking about taxes being protected, there's no more not tax planning anymore. Because when you're in control of your money, you're going to have your taxes protected. But when your money controls you, you're not going to be protected. So stop the money chaos in 30 days. In the next 30 days, identify your leaks, set up intentional money buckets, create predictable owner pay, and reduce financial anxiety. I'll tell you, I was away over the beginning of the year, and I was at decision fatigue. Because I'm good and big and moving forward and taking action, I was just like, my financial advisor said to me, and he's also a mentor, and he's like, Margot, you're in like real decision fatigue. But then when I was there, all of a sudden, with the shift in place and different things, it was nice because the decisions started to come quicker. And decisions that I was sitting on started to move and just really align to where the decision wanted to go. And it was really exciting to see that. So small changes create massive relief, and then over time they build. And a lot of people now with year end, if you notice, they were talking about year end goals, the beginning of the year, and all of these things. And what I say this to say is every day is a new day of a new year. If you want to start over, there's no reason to wait to December or January. You get to do it again today and tomorrow and the next day. And if your morning is bad, you get to shift the day, and then your afternoon, you get to do it again. We don't need these end of the year resolutions. It's nice to reflect, but at the same time, you should be doing this on a regular basis so that you could be making the money that you want and reaching your goals. The emotional shift here is that when cash flow becomes clear, panic turns into confidence, avoidance turns into ownership, and growth feels safer. And people don't think about safety, but it really is important. This isn't just financial, it's emotional regulation through clarity. Because imagine like when you get upset around things and you're kind of like making a decision based off of fear versus when you really know when it's a good decision. And when you have your own grounded at state, you're not depending on somebody else making the decision because you're upset. So what are your next steps? After this session, review where your money actually goes, apply the money flow method, and the money flow method, which is uh, separating the money by purpose, create clarity without complexity, and support fluctuating income. Apply the money flow method and ask questions and get support. I would love when you got this video to hit respond or type on the post here and let us know. And what I say this to say is that all of these topics are created from what you're asking for. And I hope that you all are enjoying the content and actually, implementing them. And if anything, as always, your money doesn't need more control, it needs clarity. The more we release control and we put clarity into the driver's seat is where the tax-free life and business growth happens. So please book a call with me. This is always an option. I look forward to doing this with you. As always, any questions, let me know. Please always reach out. Please use the platform at your disposal. I would love to hear from you. And now the tax season is here. If you want help with returns, 1099s, or all of these things, please feel free to reach out and ask your questions. Thank you for listening, and let us know how you enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing you and talking more. Talk soon.